purpose beyond profit is, that's the reason why people get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah. Sonya, thank you very much for joining me today. How are you?
Yeah, you're welcome. Great. Yeah, Ata Maria. Happy Matariki.
Yeah, it is indeed. 4-day weekend coming up.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that, to be honest. Can't wait.
You going somewhere special?
No, home.
Oh,
I'm going home and I've got no plans.
Oh, nice.
And I couldn't be more excited for that. So I will be doing some jobs. We recently got chickens. So
beautiful.
They stink.
Well, it's the perfect time of year. I mean, Matariki's all about, all of that. It's kind of the middle of the year. You start to think about what's going forward. So,
100%. So, yeah. Anyway, the reason I asked you to be on today is obviously you've had quite a high-flying career so far.
Mm-hmm.
And you are in that HR space, but a lot more around culture, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important in our industry and it doesn't get talked about enough or dug into.
Yeah.
So first of all, can I just ask what's your background?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm a small town girl, grew up in Rangiora, North Canterbury.
Oh, yeah.
So, very much part of the farming community. All my cousins, aunties and uncles had farms and, my cousins at my age were boys. So I was a bit of a tomboy growing up. Until I went through puberty. It all changed then. For Dad and Mum. And then, I was good at school as well. And then I kind of found a social life when I was about 14.
That's when it all goes
was
wrong.
A little bit of a rebel. Things changed for me. Unfortunately, Mum and Dad broke up when I was in the 5th form, right before my school cert exams. Yeah, and kind of things changed for me there. And what I thought was going to be my future, it was different. Mum was in Auckland, Dad was in Rangiora, Christchurch, and so I ended up having a bit of a rough 6th form, failed that year. I ended up failing school cert typing twice. Dad had wanted me to be a secretary, which I didn't really want to do. And I ended up doing just a hospitality course. And when I was trying to look for a job, there weren't a lot of jobs around. And my first job was a housemaid.
Right.
So I ended up cleaning toilets and making 18 beds a day.
So vastly different now.
Ironically, I had a really messy bedroom. I think my dad had a little secret laugh about that. And, I had to learn how to work hard. And the only next job I was going to get was through good performance and, just working hard and learning about what good was.
Yeah.
And I worked 3 jobs there for a while. I was waitressing and housemaiding, and I slowly worked my way up through the hospitality industry for 5 years. I actually, ironically, taught myself how to touch type to get out of hospitality.
Yeah.
I was sick of the shift work.
So you did make your dad happy in that?
I did make him happy, and I became a receptionist and secretary PA for a few years. Loved that job. I learned a lot about organising within that job and events, and we used to celebrate our wins. I was working in the telecommunications industry there for a while as that was sort of starting to boom. So, the 90s were the fun, long lunches and, big business and big organisations. So that was really good.
Plenty of money around.
Plenty of money around then. So it was really a interesting process to go from businesses that didn't have a lot of money to then businesses that did have a lot of money. That celebrated in a way that really built culture around that too.
Is that what sparked the...
I don't know. It was kind of, I could see how much relationship you built and connection when you brought people together around big goals and celebrations. So that was, I don't think I knew it at the time, but if I look back, I learned about good service and customer service and hospitality. And then I learned about celebrating your big wins within that telco space.
Super important.
Yeah. And I think after that I went into marketing. So I was kind of starting to learn more about the customer.
Are you up in Auckland at this stage?
I am in Auckland. Yeah.
Okay.
I was only a year in Christchurch and I was feeling a bit sorry for myself then. And Mum said, come to Auckland, I'll shout you and you can get a job.
So the big smoke.
Yeah, and I think, that was where all my friends went travelling overseas. And when I came to Auckland, I met this Tongan guy and fell in love. That's my husband's
Is it a guy who I know?
Sonya, and never left. But
Yeah.
that was kind of where things became quite happy for me, I think.
Yeah,
And and so that was when I was a secretary, PA, telco.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm jumping around all over the place at the moment.
That's all right.
But we kind of like got into this groove of all our friends were traveling. We were sort of in Auckland, and we both didn't come from a lot, so it was about working hard
Yeah.
and saving our money. Sonia is the one that taught me how to save money, and we saved for a marriage, saved for a house. So for me, money was actually quite important.
Yeah.
Like learning how to get learning new skills and get a promotion or get a new job and, learn about doing things in a different way it's really core to who I am.
Yeah.
And I think it suits me from being a creative.
Mhm.
So I've always got these ideas and I'm always wanting to grow and learn. I think my parents hated that when I was little because I was always wanting to do activities and then do another one. Like, I did gym and then I went to brownies.
No, go to sleep. Go to sleep now.
I'm a busy person.
Yeah. Okay.
So after the personal assistant sort of work, obviously went into marketing.
Yeah.
That was cool. Like my boss was awesome. We won some marketing awards. We were actually working for the dairy industry, so that was cool to get back out on farms again. And just get back into that creative space.
Yeah, totally. It's funny, I think it is linked to a personality type where you can mix the creative and the business because got these crazy ideas. You're a little bit sort of ADHD, like not saying you, I mean the personality type.
Yeah.
Where everything's firing all the time and it's about bringing that to life, but also having like the get shit done attitude.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I am
quite
a bit of a
interesting.
get shit done woman.
Yeah.
There's no mucking around. If we're going to do something, let's do it.
Yeah.
Totally. One of the things I do well is like strategy and execution.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do it well.
How does that go? And just remember, I've probably not worked in a corporate job for 20 years.
Yeah.
How does that work in a corporate environment? Because the view from the outside is like you can have all this spark and drive and and then there's all this bureaucracy within the bigger companies and meetings about meetings. And
Yeah.
Is that your experience? Or?
Well, after leaving marketing, I went into recruitment and I did agency, and that's more sales. I didn't really like that. Coming into an organization is there is bureaucracy, but it's much more interesting, I feel, being in an organization where you can actually be across multiple things.
Yeah.
And so there's a reason why bureaucracy is there. But I've always believed that if it's a policy, if it's a process, if it's a system or a practice, you can change those things.
Yeah.
So as long as you're really good at project management or change management or relationships, then you can shape things up in a way that evolves a business or changes things. So, there might have been times where I've maybe disrupted things in a way that might disrupt some status of some people because things weren't working. So it's like, well...
But you don't seem to care. You don't strike me as somebody who'd care too much about that. No, I'm fine with the executive stuff. I'm fine with grassroots. Status is not really that important to me. Yeah.
I like things to work well.
Yep.
So what annoys me is, if I hear people going, "Oh, that's a shit piece of technology," or "Oh, I hate doing that. I hate filling in those forms," I'm like, let's fix it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's obviously getting in the way of great. So let's re-engineer it.
You're right. A majority of people will sit there and do the same thing every day that they hate and complain
and moan about it
rather than ever looking at fixing it.
Yeah.
So you bang on. No, just really interesting. Just your take on how you push things through in a corporate environment. So it sounds to me like it's just a different game and you learn how to play it in those parameters type thing.
And build relationships and partnerships.
That's what makes the world go round, isn't it?
Yeah. And actually when I was at I'm jumping ahead, but there was this wonderful lady when I was at Auckland Council.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's councils have got a lot of bureaucracy. But one of the things that she said to me was, because I got to that stage in my career where I would do it myself a lot.
Yep.
And when you're in a large organisation, you actually can't. There's just too much.
Too many moving parts.
Do for yourself.
Yeah.
And she gave me the advice that you just build it to 60% and then get people to get involved with what you're doing, and then get to the next, get to 100% with them. Yep. And then what you're doing with that is you're actually you're getting many hands make light work, and you're getting feedback along the way, and actually then people have more buy-in to the outcome, and there's greater alignment. Yeah. So, and that all comes through building partnerships and figuring out who you need to work with, collaborating, having relationships, and it took me kind of a while to sort of get to that place, but I've always had good relationships because I love people. That's, I'm a people person. Yep. My mum and my dad are people.
Yeah, totally.
So I enjoy working with people and collaborating with people, and so that sort of stuff was.
Well, it's super important. Like there's, you can do everything yourself, but there'll be one part that you're really good at. Yeah. Or maybe it's just the idea. Yeah. And then you've got to bring in, right, this person's great at that aspect of it. This person's great. Why wouldn't you use the best of everything that's available to you?
Yeah. Well, great leaders know they don't know everything.
Yeah. Well, the delegating, aren't they? And, and directing.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes doing, it's creating. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've completely wrecked your timeline there.
That's okay.
I kind of have this terrible habit of just jumping at things that interest me.
No problem. Do you want me to take you back, or should we jump on?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I had a really long stint in recruitment. Yep. So that was both in agency and in-house. Mm-hmm. And, one of the things I went into recruitment to do was actually I wanted to learn how to write, funnily enough. And when you interview people, you've got to write up your notes in a way that you can sell them into a client.
Totally.
And so learning how to tell a story about someone in a way that actually gets a conversion.
That appeals to them.
Was such an interesting process. And you also needed to learn to talk about that person as well. Yeah. So when I go into roles, there's always got to be something in it for me to learn. Yeah. And so recruitment, loved it. And back in those days, it was through those years of recruitment, we went from people used to write letters and we used to put ads in the newspaper through to email came in. And also what else came in? Seek and social media and systems.
Changes
and so,
the game.
oh my God, it completely changed the game. Yeah. And so what that did was it brought this variety to that space where you had to learn how to be a marketer. Yeah. You had to learn how to use social media in a way to engage and build networks. Yeah. You had all this data, so you became an analyst because you could actually see information in a different way, and you still had that relationship game.
So loads of different skills.
Of stuff.
And just what you're saying about the way that you present a candidate to, the company that's looking for one or whatever. What a great asset to have that personally as well. Mm. So for your career, you know exactly how to present yourself for a new position and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do, but I get a little bit nervous in interviews. I'm used to interviewing people.
Yeah. Don't like being asked the questions.
No, and I don't really like talking to it's a really, It's a funny thing. A lot of interviewers or recruiters might say, I don't like being interviewed myself. Yeah. Being in the hot seat.
Exactly. You've got to think on the spot.
Yeah, totally. So recruitment, I learned a lot about experience. Mm-hmm. So how you treat a candidate through that process, and then when you're an agency, your fee is reliant on that person staying in the job. Yep. So the leaders, how the leader treats that person through that journey is actually really important as well. So I learn a lot about experience. And so when you think about culture, there's an experience piece that flows through all of that as well.
Yeah, because I guess, if your clients aren't running a very good operation and they've got terrible culture, still not going to work for you, is it? Because you're
Yeah.
putting these candidates into horrible situations, I guess.
Well, yeah. Well, you find out about talky and walky.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can be all talk, but actually the reality is quite different.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of when I wanted to start going broader into that part of the business, because I heard from managers and from employees at the coalface the things that were going wrong.
Yeah.
And so, again, that's, that I find that challenging, and I can always see how they can be fixed, and I love all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And
it's quite funny that you bring up recruitment. So, my stepmom Deb's had a long career in recruitment.
Yeah.
Did really well. But when I was probably 18, me and all my mates were in bands and mucking around and So would always be like, "Oh, Debs, can you get us a job?" and get all my mates a job. Anyway, we all ended up working at Royal Mail. I think it was the whole band.
Yeah, right.
We were 18 in the office, and we were just absolute, like, useless buggers.
Oh.
And I remember, like, obviously she'd placed us as candidates.
Yeah.
And I'd be, like, hungover as shit. Like, I've turned up at 11 o'clock with, like, a black eye.
Oh,
like,
no.
dying.
Yeah, right.
And then I'd be sleeping in the room, changing the cassettes for all the backup records and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Just,
boring work with a hangover is not ideal, is it?
Totally. Debs is like, why have I even helped you guys?
Yeah. Yeah, she'll be regretting that.
Oh, yeah. Like, honestly, she's probably got 20 of my mates' jobs over that couple of years.
Well, she's generous.
And I think she massively regretted it, but never mind.
Hilarious. Oh, that's so funny.
Anyway, sorry.
No, that's all right. Recruitment, actually, it's funny. It is actually about finding people for jobs.
Yeah.
Not necessarily finding jobs for people. I mean, it kind of is, but when you have huge volumes, that's just not the reality. You can't find everyone a job. It's generally you're finding people for a job.
Yeah.
And a lot of recruitment is actually about managing people's expectations. So a candidate or a person wants the best job in the world, paying the most money, and a manager wants the best person in the world, the star person, that's going to make them a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you've got to pull them down from those pedestals and, have a nice, happy...
Let's be practical.
Yeah, peace in the middle. And what you're trying to do is really help people understand the reality of what they're going into and actually let that reality be the challenge that they want. Don't just sell them on the benefits. You've got to get them interested in the job. And if they are engaged in what that job needs to be, then that's the happy spot.
Yeah.
But there's nothing worse than bringing great people into an organisation and them not succeeding.
Yeah, totally.
Because it's like, oh.
I mean, the other side of that is, in their own mind, everybody wants the big job. And the chasing stuff that, and you're like, they might, they're going to pay me 200 grand or whatever it is. And you go, yeah, but they're going to want 200 grand out of you.
That comes with responsibilities.
A big job. Like, you have to be worth.
Yeah.
You've got to pay for your seat. You know? And people just, not everybody, but some people, they just look at the dollar figures and they're like, yeah, I'll do it. And they hate it if they ever get there and it doesn't last,
Yeah. I mean, big roles, they come with responsibility.
Yeah, we've always got to pay for your seat, right?
Yeah,
always.
Totally. And I think, there's the experience piece, there's the attraction piece.
Yeah.
All of that is part of, when you build a great culture, you're building something that actually, there's parts to that, can you attract great people? If you've got a great employer brand, you can attract great people into the organisation and you'll get good retention, less attrition and, kind of higher productivity.
Absolutely.
Then one of the challenges I found, not only within, organisations, but was people from a diversity and inclusion perspective, they were just trying to fish from a small pool.
Mm-hmm.
And if we think about New Zealand, we've got a whole lot of people from different demographics in New Zealand.
Hell of a mix.
It's really diverse. And so the things that I would hear managers say were things like, I want to be able to go down to the pub and have a beer with them. And, you're just limiting yourself. That's not necessarily makes a great employee. The things that make a great employee is someone that connects to your purpose and your values and your vision and, you know, what you stand for, and, you know, you can actually help you achieve your strategy and your vision.
It's the best person for the job in every aspect of that job as well, because I think the flip side of that as well is like diversity for the sake of diversity as well. Like it swings the other way, you know, like if you're picking a worse person because it makes your workforce more diverse, both ways are stupid. It's just got to be best person for the job, right?
It's got to be the best person for the job, and your definition of merit needs to stand on its own 2 feet. That kind of can you know, be described in a way because they want to get someone. But I like to think about you know, instead of culture fit, I like to think about culture add. So when I recruit people, I'm looking for potentially some skills and some experience which will be valuable in the job. I don't expect them to have done all the job before, because I expect my job to evolve. So, but I think, you know, having a good baseline is a good place to be, and an interest in learning, because I want them to learn some stuff for themselves and be teachable. But I also want to see what they do outside of their job. Like I want them to come with something else. So because that's going to bring potentially an entrepreneurial spirit, or they're going to add something different to the organisation that will help you in ways you never ever thought possible. So I believe that someone is, you know, it's a culture add to the organisation. It's not a culture fit, because otherwise you're trying to put them in a box.
Totally. And nothing's going to change where you kind of want a new person to come in and excite everyone, bring something new to the table and, you know, progress it, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
That makes sense.
And value what else they do.
Yeah.
Don't judge them for saying, oh, you know, they've got that business on the side, they're probably not going to give me some time. It's like, well, God, if they've got a business on the side, they've obviously got some hustle. Which is good.
I won't mention his name, but we've got a staff member here. And he's got like $1 million side hustle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Like, good on you.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah,
because he's obviously learning how to do that.
Says a lot about a person as well. Like, it shows you how much you can apply yourself. You're obviously passionate about getting stuck into a project and making it work, you know?
Yeah.
Which is bloody good.
Yeah.
Right, so recruitment, where did we go from there?
Okay, so that was my own business. So I taught a lot of organisations around how to tap into broader talent pools. You know, and so that was when I was working for myself. Went into I got tapped on the shoulder into Auckland Council because I was working with them. And then I was like, oh, I left my business. To be honest, in my business, it was going well, but what I hadn't done is I hadn't built a system.
Is this human nature?
Yeah. So I hadn't built a system. I was just it was me. And it was me consulting. And I had a team member as well, but it was not replicable what I was doing. So it wasn't a business.
So human nature, did you start that while you were in recruitment?
I came out of Vodafone. I was the head of recruitment at Vodafone. I was doing a maternity leave cover there.
Yeah.
And I'd been sort of doing kind of contracting bits and bobs. And that was through, you know, I was doing some stuff around employment branding. I was doing some workforce planning and doing big change projects across organisations. So really honing my change skills. And I'd gone into Vodafone as the head of recruitment for a year. And so that contract ended. The lady came back from maternity leave. And that's when at Vodafone I'd run their got up and running their female leadership program and their Māori graduate program.
Okay.
And that kind of gave me the taste for, you know, where you can build talent pools that may not be there. So how do you connect into those groups? You know, people were struggling to attract them to organisations. They weren't coming through Seek or Trade Me. And so you had to go about it in a very different way. So I worked with another couple of guys that were in their own businesses, and we built networks. So we built a network called the Kumbara Vine, which was linking a whole lot of Māori organisations and people interested in that space. And that was linked through, we built this website, and we built content. Like we would write stories on successful Māori people in different ways, and actually change perceptions and bust myths and get some really positive stories out there into the market. And built this network through email. So we connected the whole network.
Yeah.
Where people were, quite separate, but we built the connections, and then people would advertise out through that network to get, graduates or employees or whatever, as well as their other channels.
Yeah.
But it was a way to connect into those.
I understand what you're saying. So before they may have seen it, that group of people may have seen it as a closed door.
Yeah.
And you essentially built a pathway and then showed them success stories, like you can do it kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you can't be what you can't see.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, it's, it's when you see yourself reflected in someone who's been successful, it gives you belief in yourself that you can do it.
Yeah, he did it. Why can't I? Or she did it. Why can't I?
And you've got to help people have a sense of pride in their identity and in themselves. And, that's one of the ways that they can actually start to reach their potential.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, as an organisation, if you can harness someone's potential, then that's exponential.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And if you've got different groups of people that are blacked out or not,
or don't feel like they belong or can't be themselves.
Yeah, how many awesome people are you missing out on?
Yeah, if you can't be yourself and you don't feel like you belong, you're never going to reach your potential.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's just human nature.
I see what you did there. Bit of advertising.
Not that I have that business anymore.
No, sweet. So this was Auckland Council.
Yeah, and then they were going through change. They're often going through change, and that was the end of 2019.
Okay, yep. So we're just hitting the COVID years here.
Just before, and I was managing the innovation hub there. So I was looking after employer brand, technology, analytics, learning and development.
Yep.
We built all these capability programs for leaders and also talent acquisitions consultants.
Yeah.
And then got made redundant. So the innovation hub's out. That's what happens when you pull the reins in. The innovation goes. Let's just pull it back to transactional, operational stuff. Let's just get stuff done.
Yeah.
So that was...
They didn't get a new CFO, did they? That's normally the trigger, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. Potentially. Funny you say that. So I finished up there, and I was a bit bummed actually because we were doing some really cool stuff there. Really
personally
cool.
Invested in it.
Yeah, I always do get a bit personally invested, to be honest. And then actually it was one of my team members that found me the job at Electric Kiwi.
Yeah, okay.
And he was like, oh, this job has just got you. And he rang the recruiter and said, you need to see Sonya. And she had seen a lot of people. And I think I was the last one on a really, really high sort of candidate numbers.
Yeah.
And then caught up with the CEO, and we just, I don't know, we just connected on a lot of things, and went in there, and, they were a business that were really successful. So they'd won the Deloitte Fast 50, Electric Kiwi. They were high performing. They were at that stage where they had some really huge goals and great brand out there in the market.
Awesome branding.
Yeah. Good technology, customers loved them, and but internally they'd never had HR, and they kind of joked that their beautiful Waimorana Ellen that used to come into work each day was the HR person. Great at listening but shit at giving advice. It was quite funny. We had they had quite a good sense of humour, but it was kind of like a greenfields opportunity.
Yeah.
So got in there and. Just really kind of did a bit of a diagnostic to begin with.
Because what did they take you on in the position of?
It was, to begin with, it was the head of culture and engagement.
Okay.
So no HR.
Yeah.
HR is a bit of
Different
a dirty word.
Yeah.
Well, it's there, but it's such a human resources. Who wants to talk about HR?
Yeah.
I mean, it's people, really.
Yeah.
And so, I had to really sort of start to understand. At that organisation, they were great people. I'd go around and have sort of interviews with people, and they'd say, oh, I just feel like I can be myself and I feel like I belong. And I was like, oh my God, tick, tick, tick.
That's what we want.
That's awesome. So we've got, there's no apathy.
Yeah.
So we've got everyone really engaged from that perspective. There's an opportunity that we can tap into their potential and lift them and grow them.
Yep.
So that's awesome. But there was things like just basic sort of systems, and it wasn't that easy for people to get, to do their jobs. And so I sort of did a bit of analysis to go, well, where do I start? And what do we need to do that, where's the best place to start where I can get some benefits off into some other areas? And to be honest, the first place I started was onboarding.
Yeah.
And so if we were thinking, because we were scaling, so we were growing
taking
fast.
on heaps of stuff.
Yeah. So how do we do that really efficiently and effectively so that people are set up for success in that first day and they actually really understand what great is to begin with, and you set some good expectations and they feel like they belong like everyone else right from day one.
You want to shorten the period they feel like the new girl or the new guy, don't you? Because that's not a pleasant feeling.
It's not a pleasant feeling. And also you want their speed to competence, speed to being great, to be really fast.
Yeah, totally.
And so what are the things that you need to do?
So that's just like having all their accounts set up, their email, the phone, laptops.
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah.
What?
Well, they didn't have an intranet.
Okay.
So, and, you don't have to spend a lot of money with this stuff. You just do what you can. Really simply, that's great.
Yep.
So, when I got there, what I felt was because everyone was quite analytical in the team. They're really, really high performing, but quite hardworking. So it was kind of like head down, bum up. And so it was really hard for me to get to know people.
Yeah,
and I couldn't remember people's names. And there were a couple of people that were called the same name and I just couldn't figure out which ones they were. So, that's just a really basic thing.
Yeah.
So I built an intranet on just a Google site.
Yep.
And one of the first pages was, can I get you all to load up a photo of yourself?
Yeah.
And because there's such a great sense of humour in that organisation, you should have seen the photos that people put in there. Oh my God, it was so funny. It was so funny. And that was kind of like, okay, one of their values was enjoy the ride, and that gives you license to have fun.
Yeah,
totally. And so that's cool. So that meant that whenever people started, there was a page they could go to and they could put the face to the name. They can talk to them then in the lunchroom.
Totally, great
They knew
idea.
who they were.
Yeah.
And
so you're not having to go and ask people on the spot, what's your name again? You just go on this page.
You go on the page, you go,
that's John.
Yeah.
And
you go, oh, hi, John. And it's just, we're trying to connect people.
Yep.
Yeah. And also what you're trying to do is you're trying to help people find information out easily right at the beginning. So you can because when people start, they ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And that's a drain on other people.
And it's a drain on them as well.
And it's a drain on them because then they think they're being annoying.
Yeah.
So
you kind of made all that available to them.
Made
so
all
they
that
didn't
available.
have to ask the questions.
Yeah, they don't have to ask the questions. They can be a bit self-learning. They can make find it out for themselves. Many hands make light work. And also they used to ask a lot of one person. And so
they'd latch on to somebody, basically.
She knew everything.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wanted to bust that a bit because it's a bit of a bottleneck. And it's not that great for, that person's job to be everyone's lackey.
Yeah.
So I built a how do I page.
Okay.
Like, how do I do this stuff? And then sort of we started to use that as a bit of a communications tool as well.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the onboarding piece was a checklist to begin with.
Yeah,
so I was used to big organisations.
Yeah.
And I remember turning around to my CEO one day and going, oh my God, this is all a little bit overwhelming. I'm not quite sure where to start. And he goes, start with a checklist.
Yeah, get a list.
Keep it simple. You can iterate from there. And I was like, is that okay? And he goes, yeah, sweet as.
Yeah.
So, don't think that you need to go big and
Well, when you're starting from scratch, though,
keep it simple.
Do something.
Do something. Just get started.
What is that? 80% of something's better than 100% of nothing, right?
Yeah.
Really interesting points there, just about how you initially started to change the culture just by essentially reducing the stress for the new people.
Yeah.
And giving them that information and resource just to get up and going.
Yeah.
Very simple, but I can see how effective that would be because, well, you're part of an electrical company.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys will take on a new apprentice or a new tradesman, and they have done no preparation whatsoever.
Yeah.
I was the same.
Yeah.
I was the same.
Yeah.
And they just turn up, and you're like, oh shit, what do I do with this person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'd ease them in and just make the culture better from day one. If you were prepped.
Yeah. And also, if you build something once and it can go out to many people, you've got leverage.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just about chipping away with that stuff. Write it down.
Yeah.
Asynchronous, like get it on paper, make the implicit explicit.
What does asynchronous?
Asynchronous means write it down, like get it in writing.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that was really good when I went into Electric Kiwi is they had a culture framework. So they had already that in place they had 4 organisations within the energy collective.
Is it the electric? Yeah.
So Electric Kiwi, there was Reamped Energy in Australia.
Yeah.
Energy Tech Global in India.
Yeah.
And their architecture team was at the time called Nest. They're Butterhouse now. Yeah. And so each organisation had their own culture framework, which is, put simply, that's their vision, their purpose, their values, and their strategy and brands and their story that sits within that. But we found as we scaled that was problematic. And certainly when COVID came, we found that we were really starting to help each other out a lot more across the organisation.
Yeah.
And then people would get confused in terms of which brand they were using or what they were talking about when they were employing people. How do they describe it? And how do they, so it became problematic from that perspective. So we went through a process of, I built out this workshop sort of process to build a culture framework for the Energy Collective.
Yeah,
and then
as a group,
and kind of wrap all of those, we called them backbones, into one framework so that we could actually all talk from the same place. We were aligned against the same things, and there was more buy-in to what we were trying to do, and that really helped when you're trying to link people through to the big picture.
Yeah, okay. So you're basically streamlining the whole
the whole organisation.
Yeah, okay.
And, we're having a shared purpose. So your purpose beyond profit is, that's the reason why people get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
They want to come and make a difference. They want their jobs to be meaningful and to have purpose. And it's not really about making the shareholders or the boss rich. That's never why people are working for you.
Obviously, you're always looking to earn more money and but it's funny, you get a salary that you're happy with, right?
Yeah.
And then you kind of forget it.
Yeah, then it's actually about the work that you're doing and the people that you're working with and what you're actually achieving.
As soon as you've got it, you take that money for granted pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's about what you're doing each day, what gets you excited.
Yeah.
And you're never going to progress unless you're excited about it.
Yeah, that's right. That's the stuff that gives people motivation.
Yeah, totally.
And so that's the foundation, is a really good culture framework. And we, instead of writing that from the CEO or myself, having a process where you can actually, the people tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Uncovering that.
Yeah, feedback, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a creative journey that you all go on together and you pull it out from everyone. Not one person knows what it is, but once you get there, it sort of is, you all just go, oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. It's a feeling that you've really nailed it when you get there.
We'll circle back to this because I really want to pick your brain and get some gold out of you that, our audience can really implement. So obviously I do a little bit of research before these things.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I saw that you were on the HDR top 100 list.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was, so obviously
I didn't either.
But that's like the 100 most game-changing people in the field of HR in the world. Yeah. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And you got on it?
Yeah.
Well, firstly, well done.
Oh, thanks.
That's amazing. How did that sort of, because it's a US publication, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I actually didn't know what it was when it happened, and I didn't believe it. And so I questioned them, and they said, I said, well, is this a hoax?
Am I in trouble?
I've been running all the cybersecurity stuff at work, and I was teaching everyone about scams and phishing, and I kind of thought it was that, to be honest. But
I've got a great story about that. Carry on.
And but I said, well, why? And they just talked about what I'd given back to the industry and how the things I've done, the conferences I've spoken at, or the panels that I've been part of, or the impact that I'd made through different initiatives, and the awards that I'd won, and those sorts of things. And that all led up to me being named.
How good.
And I went, so I didn't have to enter anything or anything like that.
Yeah.
They just
The
identified me.
data.
Yeah. And
how cool though. That must have been a great moment for you, a bit of a career defining moment.
Yeah, it was. I was quite
coming from making beds and cleaning the toilets.
I
cool.
I know. It's kind of but I think in some ways I'm really different, but in some ways I'm still the same person.
Yeah.
I've got high expectations of myself, and I have high expectations of what you can achieve. And, it takes a bit of belief and faith. And I also believe that, that Maya Angelou quote, people don't remember the things that you said or do, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
I don't know if I've heard that before, but that's interesting.
That resonated with me.
Yeah.
Because how you make people feel is really important.
Yeah,
and so
totally.
I always hope that's, that comes through in the things that I do and the things that I build and the experiences and the way I work and the teammates that I make and the leader that I am. That's really important to me.
One thing that sort of shines out to me is, you speak to successful people, and a good portion of, will have the story of like, didn't come from very much. I just decided that wasn't my future and I was going to gun it and kill it. I may be wrong here, but it doesn't sound as if you really had like your eye on the prize. You were just genuinely passionate about what you did.
Yeah.
And the success has almost followed because of that. Would that be about?
Yeah. Well, I think I've always, because I didn't have I've been in industries where I was around a lot of educated people.
Yeah.
And I don't have a degree.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to university, so I don't have those networks. I don't,
Me neither.
But maybe it's a wee bit of a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I could have, but it just didn't turn out for me like that.
Yeah.
And so I've had to work harder than anyone else to. Yeah, I haven't had doors necessarily open for me. I've had to like pick them down.
Yeah.
But that comes from taking on extra projects and sometimes taking on those projects and then they have your budget.
Yeah.
And so you've got to learn how to do things on the skin of an oily rag, or you've got to learn how got to learn how to bring people in to what you're doing so you could get a bit of help for free, or it's
be cheeky.
Yeah, and actually make what you're doing fun so people want to be involved in it.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, it's bloody good. Just with the scam thing, you just remind me of a real funny story. So my better half, Harriet, this was a few years ago now. I can't remember who it was. It was the bank. It was BNZ or something.
Yeah.
She gets a phone call from an Indian guy from BNZ.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Is this Harriet? Da 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 da." Yeah, it is. Like, oh, you've won a free MacBook, madam. And she's like, "Fuck off." Puts the phone down on him. Anyway, he rings back again. He's like, "No, I'm serious. Like, you want to?"
Oh, you actually have?
And she's like, "Fuck off, mate. Don't ring me again."
No.
Puts the phone down. Next thing, MacBook Pro just turns up, delivered to her house. And she was like,
"Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, my God."
Oh, that poor guy was just doing his job.
Cracks me up, though. Classic Harriet.
I have made a faux pas like that in the past, thinking that something was a scam and it actually wasn't. And been a bit rude myself.
Yeah.
And I learnt from that. That's not making people feel great. Anyway,
so interesting story. Cool origin story.
Yeah.
What I want to do is obviously dig into what's going to relate to the people who listen to this, which is essentially tradies, right?
Yeah.
So from the ground up, you are obviously involved in a trade business.
Yeah.
What are some simple steps that people can implement straight away to make it a better environment for their staff?
Yeah. Well, I think I come back to the culture framework. That's your foundation. So make sure that you're really clear on the reason why you're in business, your purpose, your values, what you stand for, what's really important to you. So your values and your purpose and your vision and your strategy are the things that actually help with how you treat people and also the decisions that you make. So you can stand on your values around those sorts of things. You can also performance manage around those things. So if someone's not, not acting in the right way, then you can say one of our values is, say, care. There was a lack of care in how you went about that. And, it's a great way from a performance management perspective that you can actually bring people back to the reality of the organisation that you're, or what you're trying to do.
I mean, what does that mean for, the Sparky who's got 5 lads on the tools?
Yeah.
Like, it just in a real practical sense.
Okay. Should I tell you our one for Soul Power?
Totally. So what I'm getting at is, like, me and you, I would think, both know that a ping pong table isn't culture.
Yeah, no. Well, no. Wearing t-shirts and jandals to work it's a benefit.
Yeah,
it's not culture sort of thing. And it's part of it. Your benefits form part of your culture, but a great culture is it's helping your employees do great work so that your customers get great experience that then makes your organisation more profitable and, the product.
And they've got to be happy in their role too.
They've got to be happy.
Do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that the culture framework is just a foundation. Understanding, that purpose beyond profit, that's the piece that's going to get people out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
For us as Soul Power, our purpose is to help people enjoy the beauty, comfort and freedom that electricity can give them.
Yeah, okay.
And, when I was working with a team in Sonya and trying to nail down and really get out of that, he's always said, I just want to help people.
Yeah.
And, what do you want to help them to do? And, we really had to get underneath that quite a bit. And, when we stand on our values, our values are safety first, service, reliability and teamwork. Yeah. And there's a lot of quality that comes into a number of those things. I've got a really strong service ethic and service is actually really important to Tongan people. Yeah. So, some of Sonya's Tongan values are actually coming through with that and that too. So there's definitely some Pacifica values coming through in our values for the organisation. And there's that reliability is very, very important.
So it's almost like coming back to, it's a bit of an old word, but like a mission statement.
Well, your vision and your mission can be intertwined a little bit, but what are you trying to achieve?
Actually presenting that to your team and going, this is what
this
we're
is
about.
Important.
Like,
this
does
is
that
who we
excite
are.
you? Are you on board with that?
Yeah, and when you recruit to that, you can tell whether or not people are engaged in that. And then when I think one of your questions before I came on was, how do you connect people to the bigger picture?
Yeah.
You need all of that to help them understand where you're going.
Yeah.
And what you're doing. And, an important part of that is like communicating your strategy, setting context, helping people understand the why and then what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And so some of that strategic stuff is actually really important. So for a business owner, even though you're in a small business, when you start, I remember when Sonya and I started Soul Power and my sister got us to do a business plan. It just seems like, oh my God, that's a lot of information. Too much detail. We've got to write all this. Yeah. I don't know the answers to that.
I thought we just did jobs.
I thought we
paid.
But it was really good to force us into that strategic work and actually doing all of that. And, that.
You're preaching to the choir. That's what this is all about. Like, pretty much everybody we deal with is a great Sparky.
Yeah.
It's all the stuff around it
Yeah.
that we've got to educate ourselves on,
Yeah. And we've got to take them from being a great Sparky into being a great business owner. Because
100%.
then they eventually won't have a lot of time on the tools.
Yeah.
And so, but they need to understand the business behind
it.
That.
And it's not easy to do.
No.
No. That's the thing. We can you've got to educate yourself, and then you've got to really dig in and push for those. Might be 3 years where you're just doing whatever it takes to get your business past that threshold.
Yeah.
Where you've got a framework, you
Yeah.
can start growing.
I mean, when you're a small business, you got to get a website up and running.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly. What a rigmarole.
What? Did anyone know how to write a website?
Yeah, an old Ruth from Digimark, bloody Excel's trying to charge you $9,000 for it and then doesn't update it. Yeah,
you've got to start understanding about your pricing and margin and why you don't just charge an hourly rate for something. It's like because you've got all these operational costs, you've got a van to run, you've got accountants to pay, you've got lawyers.
Tax. We did pretty much a whole episode on provisional tax.
And
what it is and why it is.
And honestly, when you go into the business, you probably don't even know that stuff.
They don't. Just coming back to
people.
The people. So I've got a question for you, and this is something. Me and my old business partner we didn't fall out about it, but we certainly had different opinions on it. So when you're saying give them the vision and everything, I was always really transparent with the business.
Yeah, I like transparency.
So I would tell the boys exactly what work we've got coming up.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to be like, lads, the net profit for this month was da-da-da-da.
Might, yeah.
But, or if we are looking for work, I'd tell them exactly what's going on. Yeah. Whereas Alistair, sorry, I probably shouldn't have full called you out on the podcast there, mate.
Buy him a beer.
I'll have to buy him 10. He liked to keep things quite close to his chest, and I understand his reasoning because if we were looking a bit quiet and stuff, he didn't want to panic the boys.
Yeah, I understand
that.
Or
he didn't want them to know that we were absolutely smashing it either,
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, look, I think one of the things at Electric Kiwi that we did well was we had a lot of transparency.
Yeah.
But we had built a trust-based culture, and we believed that information helped people learn and actually helped them to be better.
Yeah.
So, and then, when we were going through hard times, and we did go through some hard times, COVID was tough, and but we found that communication was the best way to get through that. And, we had a whole global energy crisis, and that actually required, we made the decision to pull out of Australia because of that.
Yeah.
And we lost, half of our customers. And, and then we went through change and we lost our teammates through that. But, because we, if any decisions were made at a strategic level, we would come out and we would start writing comms and thinking about how we brought people on that journey and inform them around either decisions or things that were coming up, or even just different challenges. So it meant that we actually all went through the hard times together and we all went through the good times together.
Yeah.
And so it meant also that we could pivot really quickly.
Yeah.
And, pulling out of Australia was hard, and we couldn't have done that if we didn't do that really quickly. And the reason why we were able to do that quickly is because we were aligned.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, I think a lot of people think you start a business and then if you sort of work hard, it just goes like this.
No, it doesn't.
You've got to be really agile.
Really agile.
And I think the hard times and then reevaluating and maybe changing tact a little bit and going through it.
Yeah.
That's what improves your process and makes you really resilient as a business. Because at the end of the day, it's not like you just start it and it's going to be on the road. It's going to be smooth sailing. That's the start of learning your lessons.
Yeah. I mean, goodness me, we've all been shoved down on our bum in the last 5 years in construction. Have you seen the construction industry? I think it's one of the worst hit industries out there. Like there's 10,500 people that lost their jobs in the last couple of years in Auckland alone in construction. Yeah. So, I think, if you know that you need to iterate, we've learned in Soul Power, we went into COVID and we were a business that just grew through word of mouth. And we had a website. That was it. We had no marketing.
Yep.
And so some of the stuff I've been doing while I've had the time is to actually start to go, okay, well, if we're a business, we've got 2 sons now wanting to be they're in the business as electricians. And it's like, well, we didn't know that was going to happen. We weren't growing a big business for our sons. It was never a family business.
Yeah, it is.
But now it is. So
how cool, though.
It's wicked. It's really wicked.
And that's a succession plan. It's an entity for the future.
It's a totally different why for us. It's like, well, we can't give them a business that is, in an industry that's not growing at the moment.
But by the way, we're at 120 days with Russell's.
Oh. Yeah, it's like, well, shit. What are they actually walking into? So, it's given us a bit of a kick up the butt as well to start thinking about.
Because I've been watching you starting to put out some content on site.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a podcast last week with Stanley Henry, so he owns The Attention Seeker.
Oh yeah.
I think he said they're the biggest organic social media agency in the world.
Wow.
And they're in Grey Lynn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing he said to me that really resonated, I was like, can you explain for me and for just the people listening, because I get this a lot and I didn't fully understand it. What's the difference between sales and marketing?
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
And he goes, right, sales. So generally speaking, 5% of the people you'll approach are ready to do business right now.
Yeah.
Just pull the trigger.
Yeah.
That's sales.
Yeah.
The other 95 is marketing.
Yeah.
Because they're the people who may use you in the future and the potential customers, and you're just building trust with them through your branding.
Yeah.
And nobody does that.
Showing them what we can do.
Yeah. I'm going to be repeating myself here, but I was saying last week, there are exceptions to this.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, if you see an electrical company on social media, they've got all the vans lined up, all the lads, and they're like,
Yeah.
What is that saying to people?
Well, we're not that. We're a small organisation.
Yeah.
So, do we have to wait until they're that before we get it? No.
Yeah.
We just have to go, we are where we are. And
that doesn't tell a story.
No.
It doesn't do anything for anybody.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the other one is, somebody might do a flyer with a picture of a switchboard.
Yeah.
And be like, it's this much for the next month, and post it on socials and boost it.
Yeah.
You've got to bring people in. You've got to tell them a story through media and let them know what you're all about and then just keep showing up.
Yeah.
Just keep showing up and you get that brand recognition.
Yeah. And I kind of go, what do I like? And what would I want to know?
Yeah.
In the same way that I'm, with leadership.
Yeah.
I've had great leaders, but I've also had some leaders that weren't so great.
Yeah.
And, some really basic things like, they cancelled my one-on-ones 3 months in a row. And I'm like, I mean, I didn't feel valued.
Completely undervalued.
Yeah, like, you were too busy. And then you feel like you annoy them if you're going to talk to them. But I learn a lot in one-on-ones and it's a really good check-in. So one-on-ones are really, really important to me.
If they're done well, valued. It's like motivational for you.
Yeah, and I'll give you a framework you can send out to people. But, getting employees to lead those and actually put some thought into it.
Yeah.
And it only has to be half an hour once a fortnight.
I think it's
real easy.
One of an employer's biggest bugbears is when you progress review keeps getting pushed.
Oh,
and they hate asking for it.
Employees go into like a performance review or whatever, and they're nervous.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's odd.
Just like candidates are nervous going to an interview. Like, treat them nicely. Don't make them let them release their nerves, and they're never going to be good in an interview if they're nervous.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going off on crazy tangents here. The reason I was bringing up the marketing thing is tying it back to, like, let's say Electric Kiwi again.
Yeah.
Like, I think a part of the culture is they are cool. And their branding was real cool, and you're like proud to say that you work for them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that, again, ties into, these trades businesses.
Yeah.
If they create that atmosphere of being cool and exclusive and they've got a presence.
Well, I think you've got to bring out your unique selling points.
Yeah.
So what makes you unique and different from another electrical business down the road?
Yeah.
And, that's what we are trying to do with our marketing. And, Sunya's a humble guy.
He's
you know,
lovely.
he's not like me. He's an introvert.
Yeah, totally.
So, you know, how do we tell his story when he's not going to go out there and do that? And yeah, I've got this great young videographer that's my girlfriend's son, and he's done film school and stuff like that, and he's capturing everything, and we're working together.
Perfect for you,
it's
though.
amazing.
Because you come up with the ideas, and
we're like,
bring
let's
it
go
to
do
life.
this. Yeah. So it's quite fun.
I've got one starting on Monday.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Get in the truck.
Yeah.
Go and doing this.
I can't do it. I tried to do it, and I just don't seem to shoot the right shots. And he's very clever.
It's a skill unto itself. And then the editing is a different story.
Oh my God. Yeah. And it's like the editing's the story part. Yeah. How do you pull all of those shots together in a sequence or a story piece? And we kind of collaborate across that. But yeah, so marketing is important. And I think with marketing, what you're doing is you're actually creating a place where you've got permission to connect with people.
Absolutely. Because I think, look, don't get me wrong, word of mouth and networking, like, you know, the base level of putting yourself out there, that's really important, and it's going to give you the best conversion rate out of anything. But it's such a small net that you're casting, I guess. You know what I mean? So you've got to start putting yourself out there, you know. And
in this day and age.
Yeah, totally. And it's that brand recognition. It's not a transactional thing, marketing. For us, I don't think it needs to be. I think it's just building that brand awareness.
Yeah.
And then when somebody's oven does break down or whatever, they go, what was that company? Soul Power.
Yeah.
First one that comes to mind. They trust you because they've seen you around, and they go, I'll give them a call. Yeah.
And I think something other simple, like Google reviews. Get your Google reviews up. We've only just got those up. I didn't even know about them. And it wasn't until Sonia with Linda's guy off to another guy in the trade group, and he said, oh yeah, it's great. He gets like 5-star Google reviews. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What a Google 5-star? What? He's getting them for them. Oh my God. Why aren't we doing that? How do we do Google reviews?
Well, have you seen the plaques? I mean, you could probably make them yourself, but you can buy I think it's like 5 plaques. They're like a resin plaque with the QR code for your Google.
Yeah, right.
Give them to the boys and whatnot.
Yeah.
At the end of a service job, would you please give us a review? But because you stood in front of them,
and with the plaque. Right. Oh, okay. That's how you do it. Yeah. Yeah. And people actually have, because we had none of that stuff going, so we were starting to get not the phone calls coming through that we used to get. And we noticed that through COVID. I think a lot of businesses became a lot more digital through COVID. Yeah. And we hadn't. I was way too busy.
We just had this wave of people being obsessed with Google reviews and SEO and keywords.
Yeah. But there is some, good reasons for that. But we're starting to get phone calls from people because they've Googled us now. So that's good. That's what you want.
100%. Just put yourself everywhere would be my tact, because I think these young tradies these days are a different breed. Oh yeah,
they're digital natives.
Yeah, all we wanted to do was go and drink piss and act up.
Well, I still even drink.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're going out 10-pin bowling tonight. No alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, sweet, I don't drink either.
They're so smart though too. Like, they're going to spend the time self-educating. Yeah. I think that's the trick. So they're going to come in, they're going to know all this shit when it's time for them to take over the business or whatever. Yeah. And they're going to be all over all this stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. We've got to get up to speed.
Yeah, absolutely. And, God, you just get old if you don't keep learning.
Oh, yeah, totally. And who wants to stagnate anyway?
No, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, so what's next on the cards for you?
I don't know. I've been looking for, I want another great role.
Yeah.
And so I've been looking around for that. And
be slim pickings.
There is slim pickings out there at the moment, but there is a couple of good ones. Even fractional stuff. Like I think I've quite enjoyed being in small to medium organisations that are starting to scale.
Yeah, the exciting bit.
Yeah, because it's kind of greenfields, and I can go in, and each organisation is different. They have different challenges. Yeah. And so you can go in and sort of do a bit of a diagnostic or a review process. Yeah. Figure out a roadmap or a plan. Yeah. Create that plan, and then start building. I love building. that change process.
Yeah, totally.
And I really like
job satisfaction. You can see it happening in real time.
Right.
Eh?
Yeah, and you feel like you've made an impact and added some value to that. So yeah, see what organisations are out there that are kind of at the right stage for me.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the global aspect of the Energy Collective, Electric Kiwi. And, I loved understanding business was different in Australia. There were some differences. Employment law is different. Going to India, culturally they're different. And I loved just getting out of my comfort zone and experiencing that and thinking about, what might work for people in New Zealand just doesn't work for people in India.
Totally different.
They have, we did some analysis, even just how we recognise people. In New Zealand, or in our organisation, they tended not to want public recognition. But in India, that was really, really important to them.
Really?
Yeah, so we had to actually think about how we recognised people differently.
Okay, all right.
So even just understanding your team members, they'll want different things. For me, my language of appreciation is time.
Yeah.
So that's why one-on-ones were really important for me.
Yeah.
But for someone else, they might want more words of affirmation or acts of service, like, doing, so just getting underneath that for your people.
Yeah, finding out what's going on.
What's going on.
And are you going to stay active in Soul Power?
It depends. It depends on what job I get. Or what piece of work. I could, maybe do some fractional work for a smaller company a few days a week. I'm looking at stuff like that. I could get two of those and do, 2 or 3 days.
Split your role.
Split that. And if that's the case, then we'll get someone in. I've already written the position description and I'm ready to go if I need to replace myself in the business. Because I think now that I've created all this stuff, I can't just drop something.
Yeah. Because you've been giving him a hard time as well. When I speak to him, he's like, it's so good, but it hurts.
Yeah. I'm making him think about the detail.
Well, he
I'm like, why did you do it that way?
Yeah, he cruises along, does his thing, does pretty well, and you've come in and you're like, right. I've been having a bit of a giggle about
that. Yeah. And I'm like, let's make it better. But, we'll see if we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
It depends. I got given some feedback in my performance review last year by my CEO, and he kind of said, well, the people side of things, you're a force majeure. You've nailed that. I need you around the executive table to be thinking about things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
I want you to think about things from a finance perspective. I want you to think about things from a risks perspective or technology. I'd kind of, because I'd run people systems, so I sort of had that. But even from a customer perspective, so when you always answer questions from the people perspective, I want you to be answering them with a broader perspective.
Yeah.
And ironically, here I am, doing what I'm doing within Soul Power and really having to think from those different perspectives.
Yeah.
So, the world,
as you said, small business, every hat's yours.
Yeah. So the world works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
And I'm really open-minded about where I go. I just, I want it to be fun. I want it to be, I've really enjoyed working in a successful business.
Yeah.
That's been fun, and having a great leadership team where, you're all collaborating and, you're more than the sum of your parts. That was really fun.
Yeah, totally.
And made lots of great friends there.
Yeah.
And saying that, I had a great time at Auckland Council. That's the company that people love to hate.
Yep.
And, telling that story, once I got in there, I was like, oh my God, they're doing some amazing things that people don't even know about. We've got to tell these stories.
100%.
Yeah, and it was like hashtag working for Auckland. Yeah. So, I think I find fun anywhere.
Yeah.
That's just.
But you'll know the it's it's that cliche. You'll know when you find it.
I will get the job I'm meant to get.
Yeah,
totally. I'm obviously where I'm meant to be at the moment.
Yeah.
So doing good stuff. I'm having fun.
Well, I'm going to keep watching. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys get up to and what sort of content you start putting out and that.
Yeah.
But I think other than that, you've given us some great insight today.
Yeah.
Great to hear the career story. I feel like I know know you a bit better now.
Thanks.
So that's been awesome. And yeah, maybe let's do it again in the future. Let's see where it takes you, eh?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think, look, I think, you know, if it comes down to the nuts and bolts of things, it's all about relationships. And, you know, people leave organizations because of managers. So what you said before about being organized, it's actually really important. And, you know, you don't have to, Rome wasn't created in a day. You know, just get on the journey.
Yeah, tackle that this week, that next week, whatever.
Keep it simple.
Just to top it off there, I think the big take out here for me, or what I'm taking away from this, I'm not good in Chinese, the takeaway is, again, and it's always the same, the steps that you mentioned to implement a better culture are really simple. Give people the information that they need. You know, make sure you've got all your ducks in a row for them. Yeah. And just be organised.
Yeah, set them up for success. Comfortable. Make sure they're growing. Look after them, you know, and then they'll look after your business and your customers. Yeah. And, you know, it's simple, but it's not easy. But,
And another great tip for the listeners is something you said earlier as well. Ask your staff what they want.
Yeah.
And implement it. Yeah. Not everything.
And you don't have to do everything. Yeah. Some of it's like...
Take the good stuff.
Yeah.
Take the serious stuff, you know.
And to be honest, help them understand the things that you're doing for them. Yeah. You know, sometimes they confuse reward and recognition, and they don't even know that some of the things that you do for them around, you might be giving them an extra day off for their birthday. Yeah. You know, that's actually recognition. Yeah. Totally. You know, that's not an entitlement. It's like you're doing that because you want them to, you know, go have your birthday with your friends or your family, you know? Yeah. You care for them.
My boss gives me my birthday off.
That's such cool. Yeah. Totally. Who wants to work on their birthday?
Nah, bloody awesome. So, as usual, I've learnt something today. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Cool. And I'll send you a couple of frameworks that can be quite useful.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah,
100%. And if you've made it this far, thank you very much for listening. Stay safe out there and keep puzzling. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.